Hello, this is Kate, and this is a life update thing. Because again, I try to always promise I will make these more often, and then life kind of gets in the way, and then I don't. And also, they take time to edit, so that's why sometimes I edit them, and they're a lot more clean and neat. And sometimes, like this one, I'm just gonna make it, and I'm just gonna talk, and this is the bird, because editing actually takes a few hours usually to do. So yeah, maybe I should just stick to just rambling, having a constant take. And yeah, I don't know why I like to walk around when I talk. I just feel more comfortable that way. Maybe I should stop and try to stay in one spot. Anyway, so what's been going on? Let's see. Today, Chris is actually away, so I'm home alone, and he's gone to a convention for the day. It's a collector's convention. So it's like collector editions of like Lego and Magic the Gathering cards, and I guess probably action figures and stuff like that. I don't really know yet because he hasn't sent me any pictures. So we'll see. Um, and so that's kind of cool. And he went in his Star Trek uniform, so that's cool. And yeah, anyway, we also have finally gotten over a long, like, 2 week period of just rain. Rain and rain and rain. And people who live in New South Wales would have felt it. And it's flooded in some areas, not here though. It was just, hard working at school a bit because pretty much it was really hard to get the kids to have their break outside. And one thing you need to know about kids is that a lot of them really need that time to just be outside and just run around or walk around or whatever. It's understandable. If you're basically inside mainly the one room all day, that's really hard. So yeah, but thankfully the rain is over. Kids are much happier at school, and I'm just like, just anyway. So it's much better now. The house is a mess, and it annoys me so much. I'm one of these people who can't stand like a lot of mess. I worked this whole week. I worked all of last week, which is super rare to be called in every single day, which is good money. But yes, it has left the house in disarray. I got this lovely used Silvani and Friends dollhouse, which I haven't even cleaned yet. It's used. My stepmom and I got it from a nice lady in Katoomba, and I haven't even cleaned it yet. I haven't done anything to it, and that annoys me that it's been there on the table this whole time. So I gotta do that. Yes. So yeah, what else has been going on? Mum and I have been going to do like Tai Chi, Qigong practice every Tuesday for a few weeks now, which has been fun. It's sort of, it's trickier than it seems. We have to do this Tai Chi walk, and the teacher's always like, it's actually very simple, and you just have to not think about it too hard, and just do. But then whenever we do it, we're inevitably doing it wrong, like the motions with our feet, how we turn our feet, the arm movements, just like it's actually way more tricky. So it's that ironic. The teacher says it's really easy, but then when you practice in front of her, she notices really quickly that you're doing it wrong, and then you're like, excuse me. Yes. So there's that. I'm talking about things I've been reading and watching lately, because that's always fun for me. Nearly done. We're Star Trek Next Generation. I'm on the last season, and like a bunch of stuff has happened because near the end of the series they focus a lot more on this war in the show. So for a lot of the seasons it's just kind of like, yeah, there's some overarching arcs and things about characters, but then the last few seasons are all about this war, and I'm just like and it gets intense sometimes, which is interesting. and a major character passed away in the show, and it's like, okay. And what's so cool about Star Trek is that it's aged really well, because obviously it's set in the future. They don't reference modern day things. They don't really have anything that's associated with any kind of actual time period, at least in the past. So it's actually quite good in that way. Like, I tend to forget that this was filmed in the 90s, and that, when I look at the actors in the show, they're clearly much older, and even some of them have unfortunately passed away. And it's just so surreal like that, so I'm really enjoying it. Oh, and two of my favorite characters. There's a character I really like called Odo. Odo is the security chief of Deep Space Nine, and Deep Space Nine is a space station, so it's all kind of centered on a space station, this series, instead of a ship flying through space. It's all on a space station. And he's one of my favorite characters, because he's really stern and serious, but kind of quippy. Like, he has some good jokes, and he's just a very interesting, likable character. And he finally, basically there was another character that he liked, and something happened between them two, and I'm like, yay! And it was the best, and I got very excited. So, because I didn't think he would end up with anybody, basically. Yeah. So, I know, that's doesn't really make any sense if you've never seen the show and you don't know what I'm talking about. So, basically, two of my favorite characters got together, yay! Yes, and besides that, I have been listening to an audiobook, a classic. I've been listening to Kill a Mockingbird. I haven't finished it yet, but I've gotten past the really big, famous part of the book, which was, because I'd never read this book and I didn't really know exactly what it was about. And I just heard that, it's about the trial of a black man getting prosecuted, and that's the main, thing to know about the book. And so I actually got past the trial and the events of that, but we're still going, the book's not done, so I'm kind of like, okay, it's almost a series of small stories in a story. So it's set, there's main characters and it's following their journey and the lessons they learn along the way. And it's really interesting, and it was the trial scene was really good, so I could see why that was really a major part of the book and so famous, just the points they made. And I almost don't want to go into too much detail. I know it's a classic, I know it's a super famous book, but at the same time I'm like, if you haven't read it, or in this case listened to it like I am, because I'm just listening to it on YouTube, you can find it and listen to it on YouTube, then I do recommend it. It's really good, and the whole trial scene is very nail biting and oh my gosh, what's going to happen, So it's good, and I'm curious to see how it's going to end. So yeah. What else? This is let's see, the rain. Chris is away today. Chris is doing well. He's working he's working from home, and he's getting more used to his job. He did apply for full-time, and they did say that he got it, so yes, but he hasn't officially started that yet. So he'll still be working from home, but he'll get, sick pay and holiday pay and stuff like that, rather than, this casual situation, because obviously if he doesn't feel well and he calls in sick, they don't get paid. So that's the main reason why he decided, yeah, I'm going to go for full-time, because, looks like, I'm going to be doing this for a while, and so I might as well, which is fair. So yes. What else? It is the last week of school term 1. So it's nearly school holidays, which I think the last life update I did was actually just before school started. So here we go, already almost 10 weeks have passed. So yes, so that's exciting, although again, downside, because I'm not on contract this year, I won't get paid during the school holidays. So we have been saving up pretty well. We're not in any kind of financial dire situation. We're just, if we can make money, that's cool. Oh, and to report, I have been drawing a tiny bit, but I still haven't nailed it as a habit yet. And that's the hardest thing, is sort of trying to draw at least a little bit every day, and that's what I need to do. I still tend to get kind of, distracted at home or busy at school or whatever, and I just sort of put off things a lot, which sucks. And one of the things that's helped me put off things is I've decided to actually look at TikTok and try to understand it better, because a lot of kids at school use TikTok, and I'm like, I want to have a better idea of it so that I can sort of be more aware, because it is useful when sometimes kids will use terms from the internet, and sometimes they're doing it in a sneaky way, things they really shouldn't be watching or talking about, but they'll or use terms from the internet, like simp and stuff, and that simp really annoys me. I tell kids off for that. I'm like, nah, you're not saying that at school, we're not doing that, But so anyway, I started the Tickety Talk. And at first I really didn't like it, because when you sign up, you just get bombarded with lots of different things, and a lot of them were really problematic, which made me very alarmed, because I don't think it asked me how old I was when I signed up. So I'm like, these kids at school are 9 years old and obsessed with TikTok, and there's some super inappropriate things on there. So what was it? There's I was getting a lot of anti-trans and LGBT stuff, or even anti-women stuff, sexist stuff. I was like, but then it was sometimes I was getting recommended ones that were in support, so it was kind of either end. And then of course there's other stuff totally not related to that, which is ones about catching people cheating on each other, or there was a group of guys who had invented this very dangerous game called roulette, where one of them would throw something heavy, like a brick or something, up into the air while they were all walking, him and his 5 other friends, and he would say, roulette! And the idea of the game was that when someone called roulette, you had to freeze and hope you didn't get hit by the very heavy object. These were grown men who were playing this game. And children who could see grown men playing this game. So I was like, but after a while, TikTok started to learn what I liked, because I would heart the things that I actually were cool with and thought were good. And so now my personal TikTok is actually filled mostly with, pro-women, women's rights, pro-LGBT, pro-trans stuff, because there was a surprising amount of that being thrown at me, and the opposite, anti that. So it's kind of okay, well, I'm definitely gonna heart the stuff that I agree with. So yeah, now my TikTok is mainly just, equal rights and stuff like that. So that's really interesting. I do know one other person who is really into TikTok, and he likes depression memes. So his TikTok is all about depression memes, is what gets recommended to him. So I'm like, okay. So yeah, I think the experience of TikTok can be very different for everyone. So, because it's just so vast and there's so much stuff on it, It is very addictive as well, because most videos are only less than a minute long. So it's very quick to just sort of digest. And yeah, it's problematic in that way. That's why I've added several blocking options to my phone to help decrease the procrastination. Anywho, I just realized this video has gone on for a long time, and I'm not going to edit it, so I better end it now. Thank you all, family and friends, for watching. I hope to see you all soon, or just talk to you, and I'll catch you later. Bye.